Welcome to soup season, guys. Today's recipe is a delicious soup from our October issue of Martha Stewart Living. It's a broccoli and cheddar soup, and I'm going to be serving it with a delicious broiled cheddar toast. What I'm doing is peeling the stems of some broccoli. You need about 2 pounds of peeled stems, so it could be one, could be 2 bunches, depending on the size of your bunch. And you want to peel it because you're going to puree those stems into the soup later, and the stems can be a little bit tough if you don't peel them. So cut the stems into pieces and then keep the florets separately because they're going to cook at a separate time, and some of them are going to go into the soup and some of them you're going to roast along with the cheese toasts for a garnish. Okay, so add that to the bowl. And then I have the rest of my broccoli florets here too. You also need some garlic for this recipe, 2 cloves of garlic, minced. It is going to be pureed, so you don't have to be too crazy about how you mince your garlic, how fine. So maybe even just like a fine chop. I know you're like, the distinction lost on me. You're probably thinking, yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and use the pre-chopped garlic that I buy at the store. I can't condone it, but I guess if you are gonna do it, I'd use about 1.5 teaspoons of that chopped garlic. Add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil to a saucepan, and then saute your shallots, about 1/4 cup of sliced shallot with your garlic. You want to cook until the shallot is translucent. That shouldn't take more than about 3 minutes. 3 Yukon Gold potatoes cut into 1-inch pieces. And then the stems from that 2 pounds of broccoli. With your potatoes, 5 cups of water. This is a vegetarian soup with the water. You could also use vegetable broth. And if you're not a vegetarian, you can use chicken broth. Season it with some salt and pepper. And then bring this to a boil, reduce it to a simmer, and cook until the potatoes are just starting to turn tender. That should take about 10 minutes. And then you add 3 cups of broccoli florets, saving about 2 cups for the garnish. And then you cook it about 8 to 10 more minutes. So once your broccoli is nice and tender and you've added your broccoli florets and those are nice and tender, just turn that off for a second after it's simmered to let it cool down a bit, because you want to blend it, but you don't want to do that immediately because it's super hot. So you're going to make a topping for your cheese toast, which is a combination of 1 cup of grated cheddar cheese. I prefer the extra sharp, and some minced garlic, 2 medium cloves or 1.5 large cloves, up to you, just to add a little bit of additional flavor there. Actually, I think I could have minced all of my garlic together at the top so that I wasn't mincing garlic twice. This garlic gets stirred into 1 cup of cheddar cheese. Like I said, I'm using the extra sharp. Give that a little stir. Have your oven preheating to 450 because you're going to want to get your toasts and all of that in the oven to start broiling. So I'm going to get that going because that takes about 15 minutes. I have 4 pieces of toast and 3 cups of broccoli florets. They can go on either side of a baking sheet. This all happened at the same time. Drizzle with some oil. Drizzle the broccoli with oil as well. There's not a measured amount, so I can use as much as I want to. Toss. Get both sides of your bread all oily and delicious. And then you're going to sprinkle your cheese over the toasts. If you like recipes like this and you want more, make sure to click like and subscribe because we have plenty more where this came from. Season the broccoli with some salt and pepper. Actually, you can season your everything. And then this goes into the oven, 400 degrees. The broccoli should get crisp and a little bit charred on the edges, and the cheese should get bubbly and maybe a little bit golden brown. That'll take about 15 minutes. Okay, so for the soup, you're going to need some lemon juice and also some lemon zest for serving. So make sure you zest your lemon before you juice it. It's much easier to do that. And use organic if possible, and for sure scrub your lemons when you're going to be eating the skin. I do find it's easier to sprinkle zest over something if you're grating the zest directly over it, but I need the lemon juice before I need that, so I don't want to waste lemon. I mean, you can put zested lemons in the refrigerator for sure, but they get dried out more quickly and they don't stay as long. So there's that. So the soup has had a little bit of a chance to cool. You want to blend it up with more cheddar. It's another cup of cheddar cheese. You can work in batches. It depends on the size of your blender. All of that is important, so don't overload your blender. Add your cheese. I only used about half, so I'll use half the cheese. It's a tablespoon total of lemon juice, so if you're doing half, 1.5 teaspoons. And then blend. Take this little centerpiece out because steam can build up in things that are hot, and if you don't take this out, it can pop off. The top can pop off. Usually what we do is cover the top like that so that nothing flies out. Okay, and then just fry. Just for now, I'm going to transfer this into a bowl that I had cheese in before because I want to put everything ultimately back in the pot and heat it through, maybe just briefly. The rest of the soup can go in. Blend this. Put the rest of the cheese in, which I seem to have forgotten. That's okay. It's still nice and hot. It'll melt the cheese. And some more lemon juice. Another teaspoon and a half. There we go. Everything can go back in the pot. If it's not hot anymore, you can reheat it. I like my soup piping hot. I can't stand lukewarm soup. It's so annoying. And this makes a nice, generous serving for 4 people, so maybe you'll have leftovers, which is great because bringing soup to work is fantastic as lunch, I think. And then serve it up. So good. I'm already excited. How about some broccoli? Some of that roasty broccoli, a little sprinkling of lemon zest. See what I mean though? It does clump up a little bit when you do it ahead. That's okay because you'll stir it into your soup. Eat your soup with toast. I'm more interested in the toast right now, so I'm just gonna dip my toast into my soup and have a bite. Crunchy cheese toast and cheesy broccoli soup. It's a match made in heaven. Enjoy.